Palace gates open slowly. Cameras flash. Crowds whisper. A young woman steps forward wearing a simple crown. She looks calm, but the weight on her shoulders is enormous, because at just 25 years old, she has become the queen of an empire that stretches across the world. Yes, this is Queen Elizabeth II. But here's a surprising part. When she was born, she was never supposed to be queen. Her life was meant to be quiet, private, almost normal. So how did a young princess suddenly become the most famous monarch in modern history? And how did she rule for 70 years? Longer than any British monarch before her. Let's go back to the beginning. The year is 1926. London streets are busy. Inside a quiet royal residence, baby Elizabeth is born to King George VI and Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother. At the time, nobody expects her to rule. Why? Because her uncle, King Edward VIII, sits first in line for the throne. Young Elizabeth grows up surrounded by gardens, horses, and books. She loves animals. She laughs easily. She spends time learning history, languages, and royal duties. But outside the palace, the world is changing. War clouds gather over Europe. In 1939, World War II erupts. Bombs fall over London. Sirens scream in the night. Families rush to shelters. Elizabeth is just a teenager, yet she refuses to hide completely from the crisis. She joins the military training program. Yes, the future queen learns to drive trucks and repair engines. Imagine that scene, a princess with oil on her hands, fixing an army vehicle. It shocks many people, but it also shows something important about her character. Duty first, then comes the moment that changes everything. In 1936, her uncle King Edward VIII makes a decision that shakes the monarchy. He gives up the throne to marry a woman he loves. The nation is stunned. Suddenly, Elizabeth's father becomes king, and Elizabeth becomes the future queen. The young princess realizes her life will never be ordinary again. Years later, in 1952, tragedy strikes. Her father, King George VI, passes away unexpectedly. Elizabeth is traveling abroad when the news arrives. One moment she is a princess, the next moment she is Queen Elizabeth II. Just like that. Pressure falls instantly. The British Empire is shrinking. Nations are becoming independent. Politics is shifting. Many wonder, can such a young queen handle it? But Elizabeth stays calm. She speaks carefully. She listens more than she talks. And she makes one promise that defines her entire life. She promises to serve her people for her whole life, and she keeps that promise. Through decades of change, she remains on the throne. She meets world leaders, including Winston Churchill, John F. Kennedy, and many others. She watches the world transform. Television spreads everywhere. The internet appears, empires fade, yet the Queen remains a steady symbol of stability. Her weekly meetings with prime ministers become legendary. 15 different British leaders served during her reign. Think about that. Entire generations grow up with only one monarch in their lifetime. But even powerful figures face personal storms, royal family tensions, global criticism, and moments of deep grief challenge her leadership. Still, Elizabeth rarely shows emotion in public. Calm, composed, always dignified. Then comes 2022. After 70 years on the throne, the longest reign in British history, Queen Elizabeth II passes away. The announcement spreads across the world within minutes. Crowds gather outside Buckingham Palace. Flowers fill the streets. People cry quietly. For many, it feels like the end of an era, because she wasn't just a monarch. She was a living connection to history, from World War II to the digital age. She stood as a constant figure in a rapidly changing world. a young princess who never expected the crown, a queen who carried it for 7 decades. Now, before you go, I want to hear from you. Did you know Queen Elizabeth was trained as a mechanic during World War II? Or did that surprise you? Tell me in the comments below. And if you enjoy powerful history stories like this, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss the next one. Because in the next video, we're diving into another fascinating royal story that changed the course of history. So click the video appearing on your screen right now, and I'll see you there.